Hi, it's Lauren and welcome back to my craft room. I'm super excited that today is a new Whimsy release day and I have the cutest stamp set to share with you. Oh, this stamp set is so fun and there's like corresponding background stamps and paper and everything. It goes really well together for this cute set called Oh Damn. It is so cute. And I have this card today, a Slimline card that says, Damn, you're old. Oh, I love it. But there's this new stamp set, this beautiful new background paper, and a fun dies that were released today. A fun die of a fun guy. Wow, that's bad. Let's just get started in the video. I hope you enjoy it. I'm laying out all of my supplies. I have the Oh Damn stamp set and corresponding outline dies, a sheet of this beautiful Enchanted Slimline paper from the paper pack, as well as the Build a Fairy die set. I'm going to be using the mushrooms from that die set. And I also brought out this background stamp that had tree rings on it, but I don't end up using it, but it is also a really awesome stamp that came out today. So I've stamped the images I'm going to be using on this card on some mixed media paper that's friendly for watercoloring. I stamped it in VersaFine and Onyx black ink, and I used a detail clear embossing powder, and I'm using my heat gun to emboss those images. I'm going to be doing some watercoloring, and this helps keep the colors inside of the well and not blending into parts that I don't want the color to blend into. I'm wiping off any excess powder with my microfiber cloth, just making sure I have a nice clean surface, and I'm just going to bring in a light brown watercolor. My style of watercoloring is applying the ink of the watercolor pen directly to my image and then using a brush, a water brush, so there's water inside of the actual pen that I'm using here. And I'm lightly squeezing water to blend out the color, and I just wipe off my water brush pen on my cloth as needed. Once I covered the whole beaver, I'm going to go back in with that same color and just darken it up. It was a little light, but I didn't want to use a darker shade of brown, so I'm just adding more color to darken the image. And once I'm done coloring all of the beaver, I'm going to bring in a dark brown to color the inside of his ears as well as his nose and feet. I thought these two colors would go really well together. I thought they would make a really cute beaver color. I know beavers are usually darker, but the background paper is more like these bold, rich colors, so I wanted them to be a little bit lighter against the background. Now the beaver holding the wood has a little tongue showing, so I used some red ink to color in that tongue, and then I colored my other beaver in the same way as the first one. Now the fish he's holding, I was trying to do like a kind of a grayishy blue scale fish. I don't know what kind of fish that would be, but I just thought that would be the kind of fish that the beaver is eating here by the river. So those were the colors I chose. Now for my pieces of wood, I decided to test out the different browns and look at it against my slimline paper and was like, I don't know what color really matches. So I just put down random colors of brown and blended them together using my water brush pen. And because it's kind of dark, I soaked up the water of the piece of wood using my cloth, and that lightened it right up. So you'll see here again on this larger piece of wood, I'm literally just putting random brown in random spots on the wood and then I'm going to use my water brush pen to kind of blend it together so it has different colors and different shades throughout the piece of wood, and then use that microfiber cloth to pick up the excess water, and that picks up some color as well and lightens it up, and then going in with a darker color to add some texture and shadow. And once I'm happy with this, I'm going to go back to my beavers and add some pink cheeks. This is one of my favorite things to do to critters, just to give them a little bit of fun, is to have pink cheeks. So added those, and then now let's move on to the greens in the card. For the grass, I am starting with a kind of more lime green and adding a little bit darker green to blend those colors together to try to match the green that's on my background paper. And I'm just going to kind of do the same thing with the leaves on the piece of wood, the tree bark that's going to be laying on the ground, as well as this bush. I'm going to lighten those cheeks up a little bit more because they're still a bit pink, and now I'm happy with my images and I'm all done. I'm going to bring out the outline dies and I am going to die cut around all of my images. I'm also going to be using that Build a Fairy die set and cut out a couple mushrooms out of the same watercolor paper. They come with 2 pieces and they stack on top of each other, so that way you can kind of create a polka dotted look on your mushroom. So for the smaller piece, I'm going to be using a red watercolor and blending that out. I'm going to make sure it has a nice pretty red color, and I'm going to do that to both of my mushroom caps. And for the underneath the mushroom, so the mushroom stalk portion, I'm going to be using a light brown and a light kind of a brownish gray, so more of a warm gray tone, and blend that out so it creates some texture and color onto my little mushroom stalk. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to both. I do only end up using one, but I'm just going to save the second one in my die set, so that way next time I pull it out, I could use this already colored mushroom. So I'm going to set this aside to dry, and let's play with the background. So I have this beautiful piece of paper, and of course it's super difficult to cut. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. What do I want to focus on? So I want to make sure that the river was showing as much as possible because these are beavers. So I used my Slimline builder die set and just cut it out so I would have a border around my pattern paper of my card base, which is made out of Kraft paper. So I'm playing around with the layout, making sure I like how everything is laid out before I glue it down, and I realized that I need to make sure I have room for my sentiment. So I used one of the comic bubbles. That's a favorite for my sentiments. I love, giving my critters a little speech bubble, and I'm playing with my stamp sentiments to make the sentiment, "Damn, you're old." Ugh, I don't know why that makes me laugh so much, but it does. So now I am going to use some strong sticky tape to adhere my pattern paper directly to my card base. And then I'm going to get out my wet glue so I can glue down a few of the elements of my card. I'm going to glue this log directly down. I'm going to make sure I put it in the right place so I have room for both of my beavers. I'm going to pop up my little bush to create some dimension that the bush is in front of the log. And then I am going to adhere one of my mushroom caps to one of my mushroom stalks. And I'm just going to tuck it in behind the bush. I'm using wet glue on the stalk and a foam dimensional behind the mushroom cap, so it kind of gives the look that it's coming out towards the card viewer. So now I am placing my beavers. I glue that little grass tuft directly to the base, and I'm popping up my 2 beavers, and I'm going to also glue down my sentiment. I just think that is the funniest sentiment. I'm really in love with this stamp set. And now I'm pretty happy with how everything looks. I'm using my Bohm folder to make sure I have a nice crease. And then I am going to be bringing in my gel pen just to add a little bit of highlights to my images and add little spots to my little critter cheeks. And now that I am all done with my touch-ups of my white gel pen, I thought it would be fun to put these wood sequins that I have. Well, they're wood grain. They're not made of wood. They're plastic sequins that have wood grain on them, and I thought that they would be perfect with this stamp set and this paper line. I've had them, I don't even know how long. I will link down below if I can find something similar, but I'm pretty sure I've had them for at least 10 years. And I have a lot. It's pretty sad that I haven't used them up yet, but now I will with this amazing new stamp set. So I hope you enjoyed this card and that you love the sentiments and these cute little beavers as much as I do. Again, I have everything linked down below. Welcome to my channel if you're new. I hope you'll hit subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed this card. Thank you again for watching and have a great day.